We have a special guest in the back per usual. Hey y'all, hey people, welcome back to another video. I'm gonna be sipping on some tea while spilling some tea. Good morning. I don't know if it'll be morning when y'all are watching this, but I am gonna do a chit chat get ready with me and do another roommate horror story. This one isn't, I don't know if this one is as bad as the last one. I hate people, okay? Like the audacity that some of my roommates have had. So let's just get into it. But before we do, give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, comment, share, do all of that good stuff. Guess what I'm doing? I'm about to do my eyebrows, but first I'm gonna contour my nose. Before we start, we obviously, am I gonna prime? No. We obviously have to give this girl a name. Let's go with Erin. So I met Erin through a former associate of ours. Like, we had a mutual friend, sort of, kind of. I was looking to move into the apartment in April 2020 and she wasn't gonna move in until May. I reached out to her via Snapchat. We met up a couple of times for like breakfast and lunch, and we talked about general stuff like what we like to do in our free time, like what do we do for jobs or whatever, and like roommate expectations and why she was moving out of the house that she was living in. Hit it off great. The vibes were great. I was really liking her. She was, not that age really matters, but I think she was just 2 years younger than me, 2 or 3. After meeting up with each other, we were so excited to move in right away. Because like, yeah, we just got along perfectly. We had talked about like all of the stuff that we were gonna do to the apartment, and we lived in a really nice area, like a very bougie area. It was really nice. I moved in before her because I was the primary lease recipient or whatever. So I moved in April 1st. Her lease for her like other place wasn't gonna end until like the end of May, so she was gonna move in the 2nd or 3rd week of May. I'm about to do my brows, but obviously I can't concentrate and talk while I'm doing them, so I'm gonna do my brows and then y'all are gonna hear a voiceover. A couple of days before she moved in, she texted me about her boyfriend because this was like right in the midst of COVID. So the situation was her boyfriend couldn't go home right away and he was from like out of state, so he was living with her. The deal was he was gonna move in with her, which was gonna be around the end of May, be there for a little while, quote unquote, a little while, until he was gonna figure out what he was gonna do for the summer, like if he was gonna go back to school or just like work and like live with one of his friends. Like, I didn't know, okay? I never met the boyfriend. I didn't know much about him. I only knew his name. So let's call him Jared. They move in, get settled, all is well, whatever. She reiterated to me that he was gonna be staying for a little while. I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine, until he figures out what he's gonna do. I don't care. At this time, I was working at the hospital and she just stayed home because she was unemployed, just like most people were during COVID, so she stayed home. I already felt some type of way because from what I knew, he was basically like living off of her. We made an agreement that while he was staying there for a little while, he was gonna work. Everything was gonna be split 3 ways: the rent, utilities. At the time, I didn't know that it was against our lease contract for anybody to be staying in the apartment that wasn't on the lease for more than like 10 consecutive days. I didn't know this until like I randomly went out one night and I was telling someone about this situation. So I thought I was being nice about this situation by allowing him to stay in our apartment since he was trying to figure his stuff out. A week goes by, 2 weeks goes by, and I started to get annoyed with the fact that my home is my sanctuary. Like, as soon as I get off work, I'm going home. I'm gonna be ugly in my own space, light a candle, watch YouTube, Netflix, whatever. When I tell y'all, this guy was so damn loud, you would think that it was a 7-year-old just like throwing a tantrum. He always played video games and he was just so loud, like so loud every single time, like screaming, yelling at the game, and would just like throw fits and stuff. And it would just scare the crap out of me because I don't know if he was just like ever hitting the walls or just like throwing stuff. Either way, it's just a game. Like, it is legit just a game. Bro, on top of that, she knew I was a light sleeper. So they just made like constant noise in the kitchen. My room was right by the kitchen. That was pissing me off. I just felt like a third wheel in my own home. I'm living with a couple that I don't even know. I barely know her, and I don't even know anything about this guy. And anytime I would make plans to hang out with her outside of the apartment, they just always like fell through, and she just wanted to stay with him. And also just like I worked so much, so anytime I did come home, I would just like chill and be a zombie and then go to bed. So a couple of weeks started to go by, like 2 weeks started to go by, and I'm like, all right, for someone who doesn't really have a plan on what they want to do, it didn't seem as if he was trying to move back home or just like do anything other than living with us. I just felt like he was living off of her. He spent all of her money. He ordered stuff on her behalf and all of that. Like, she was very much so his mom. It felt like she was a boyfriend girl. She was one of them. And when I tell y'all, they legit argued about the dumbest things. Like, imagine living with a couple that you don't even know, and you in the living room and they in the kitchen just arguing about stuff. Like, how awkward is that? That's legit how I felt. I was already uncomfortable with that, and then I would try to like let certain things go, but they were just like hella annoying. So I had a conversation with her around like early June. It wasn't even a full 2 weeks of them being there, and I told her how I felt about his noise while he was playing the game. Like, this wasn't our agreement. Like, yeah, he'll be staying for a couple of days. So when I told her how I felt, she was just like, okay, we're gonna have to move. I was so confused at that moment. Like, I'm not kicking y'all out, and I'm not kicking you out because you are on the lease. I'm just saying he can't just be here like all the time. Like, he just needs to figure out what he needs to do and go. He's always making a ton of damn noise. I can barely even sleep sometimes because he'll be in the kitchen doing this, or while I'm watching TV in the living room, he's throwing a damn tantrum at the game. Like, this guy was so loud. So then she tells me, well, he has nowhere to go. He can't afford to go home. So then I'm just like, was your plan the entire time was to have him live in this apartment and not even tell me? Like, try to get away with it? Because you and I are on this lease, not him. Like, that was her plan the entire time, was to have him live with us and like just assume that I would be okay with it. So then I was like, yeah, you're actually gonna have to go then. Like, you can find somebody else to take over your part of the lease, and y'all just gonna have to go, because I'm not with that. I didn't sign up to live with the couple. I signed up to live with you. So then we didn't really talk too much after that. One weekend, I was hosting a girls' night. A couple of my friends came over, and one of my friends came over, she actually knew. I never really go out like that, and I hadn't seen my friends in a long time. So this was a well-needed time for me. They come over, she doesn't say a word to them. She doesn't speak, she doesn't say hi, nice to meet you, like none of that. She was so rude to my company. And before they came over, I even told her like, hey, we're gonna be drinking, playing card games, whatever. Like, we'll be out in the living room. When I tell y'all, she had the most negative attitude ever. She would go into the kitchen and just like do whatever, but wouldn't say anything to any of us. Like, just like give us a dead stare. She also randomly unfriended me on like Snapchat, Facebook, just started doing some weird stuff. So I asked her about it because I'm very straightforward. I just put her to the side while we were in the kitchen one day, and I was just like, yo, you unfriended me on like social media, like what's up with that? I didn't tell you had to move out. I just said he couldn't live here anymore, and then you just started being weird. And then she just started being like passive aggressive, which I hate because I am the most straightforward person ever. But let me tell you about one weekend where I really had enough. So one weekend she leaves, she goes back home. Generally, your roommate would tell you if they're gonna be gone for however long or whatever, and have somebody else still in the apartment. She left for the weekend, didn't tell me, which also she didn't have to tell me, but the fact that her boyfriend was living with us, he stayed there. So she left him in our place. Mind you, I don't know this man. The little interactions that we do have in the apartment, like, they're just so damn weird. So I was like, oh, okay, when you're coming back? She goes, I don't know yet. Excuse me? You don't know when you're coming back? So I was like, okay, that's fine. If you don't want to tell me, okay, like whatever, you need some time at home, let it be. Then she asks me if I could give him my key or like always let him in when he's at the door, because the way our apartment building was set up, it's a gated entrance, so you can't even get into the building without either a key, a fob, or just like through my phone. Immediately I get upset because I'm just like, you leave for a weekend to go back home and don't bring your boyfriend with you, but you expect me to let him in every single time he leaves the apartment. Like, no, because I'm at work, so I'm not even about to be answering my phone to let him in the building. And then two, I'm damn sure not about to give him my key so that he can just sit in the apartment all day. Like, what? Like, no. Bro, I got so pissed off, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So then I'm just like, is it me? Am I tripping? Am I really tripping? Like, she had the audacity to just do that. Like, why would you leave your whole boyfriend in my apartment? Like, I don't know this guy. But luckily, one of my friends came to visit me that weekend, so she stayed with me the whole weekend. Aaron was gone for like 5 days, 6 days, didn't come back until like Tuesday or Wednesday. When I tell you I was so heated and I had never felt so damn uncomfortable to go home, like I don't know this guy. So one night while I was at the bar telling this guy about this situation, he's like, yeah, you need to get that guy out of your apartment because you can get evicted since he's been staying there for longer than like 10 days and yada yada yada. So I'm getting scared, like, okay, he has to go. Like, I'm over this. The whole night while I was out at the bar with my friend, Aaron kept texting me, sending me messages like, you need to answer my phone calls right now, this and that, just like going crazy and blowing me up. I'm like, girl, I'm trying to have a good time with my friend and you texting me about what? Some dumb stuff? Like, I don't want to have a conversation about it right now. So the same guy at the bar that told me that I could get evicted for having him in my apartment, he was just like, I could go up there and handle this situation for you too. And he was so sweet. But I was like, no. So she's blowing me up, this and that, just continues to call me, FaceTime me. So I was like, yo, if you keep being an ass, I'ma just put him out. Like, I'ma just put him out and he can find somewhere else to go. I went upstairs to my apartment and I told him like, yo, I'm sorry, but you gotta go. Your girlfriend literally left you here in my apartment. Like, I don't know you. Y'all have been pissing me off since y'all have been here. And since she's being crazy, when I told him that, he was just like laying in the bed, looking at me, didn't say a thing. Like, didn't even respond to what I just told him. So then I called the cops because at that point I'm just like, I live here. I'm the primary person on the lease. I'm not about to get evicted for whatever situation y'all got going on. You stayed here longer than you were welcome. Like, you just gotta go. You gotta go. And I felt bad, but I just had to do it. So I called the cops. I told them the situation. They really couldn't remove him from the premises because he didn't do anything to threaten me. But he did leave once I let him know that I called the cops and all of that. I'm calling our building manager and telling her all the crap that goes down. Basically, Erin gets in trouble like when she gets back. She comes back with her boyfriend and lets me know that they're gonna move out. I'm like, perfect, great. This is what I've been waiting for. Give me the papers, I'll sign them. First of all, I look so weird with the middle part. I'm just gonna do that. Erin was trying too damn hard to be a mom for her boyfriend. They eventually moved out and I lived happily ever after. But it was just like the audacity that she had to do certain things and to be so passive aggressive. Like, I know I can't be tripping, right? Like, I know I can't. She always complained about not doing enough things and not having like friends. Girl, it's because you're literally always with your boyfriend all the time. He lives off of you. You are okay with that. I was all over it. And I know y'all probably like, okay, Kiosha, with all these like damn roommates you've had, why not just live by yourself? I have, okay? I've lived by myself several times, but it just gets so damn lonely. For the sake of my anxiety, it was just better to be living with someone, just to have that company and to know that somebody else is there. We don't like boyfriend girls. We don't like girls that like to be their boyfriend's mom. And to just have the audacity. That is the end of my chit chat. Get ready with me. Honestly, my lash is looking kind of off. That's just because my lazy eye is acting up. Mind your business. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.